it is. It's the Angry Ted Show. Excuse me. Excuse me. Man, it's the Angry Ted Show, broadcasting live on Facebook and on all your social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you can catch us at. And y'all already know what we here to do. We here to talk that sports shit. So without further ado, we gonna get right into it. Now, the big topic of the day seems to be now for those who have been paying attention. Y'all know Eagles football is about to come up. It's coming fast. It's coming soon. We're 2 weeks away from training camp. And with us being 2 weeks away from training camp, here's the big topic. You know, number one, our quarterback Jalen Hurts is always the topic of discussion when it comes to the media in here in Philadelphia and around towns. You know what I mean? Around every NFL city. So with that being said, they had a poll where they polled topics in NFL executives, coaches, and scouts, excuse me, and scouts. And you already know none of them are Howie Roseman. So with that being said, they did a poll, and with the poll, it kind of baffles me still how Jalen Hurts does not get the credit he deserves for being one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. I just don't get it, man. We already know the resume. We've been over it time and time again of what he's done. And if you hit once you hit a list, you're gonna understand my frustrations, and I'm sure you guys will be frustrated too. So without further ado, I'm gonna let y'all guys hear this list, man, and you tell me what you think, and then I'll give my opinion, and you guys can give your opinions in the comments section on YouTube again, and also on Facebook. But without further ado, here we go. Let's listen in. This is ESPN who polled these executives. No argument for me there. You got Stafford, you got my homeboy, and you got Josh Allen. You get no argument from me there. But when you look at that list with the top three, now let's be real. Let's keep it 100%. Let's keep it 100% funky. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts beat him twice, 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 twice. Let let's go to the next guy. Patrick Mahomes. Regular season, beat him in the regular season, twice in the regular season. Lost more in the Super Bowl, beat him in the Super Bowl. So I would say they pretty much equal. That's Mahomes. Thank you. They pretty much equal. Matthew Stafford. Number three. When he's under Matthew Stafford, he beat him
like the regular season might be 3 times. You think of a pretty normal amount of times. I don't understand what goes on. Those trades in the industry is crazy. But Matthew Stafford, I believe, once in the game. I don't understand. Then you go Lamar Jackson at number 4. Lamar Jackson
And number 4 is baffling to me too. Because there's another guy Jalen Hurts is beating in the regular season.
Lamar Jackson
is number 4. And so it's inexplicable how you have your top 4
right now.
Joe Burrow is
number 4. Lamar is number 5. I stand correct. So your top 5 guys, Jalen Hurts has beaten winning record game.
Keep that in mind. Those are the 5. If there were any argument about Jalen Hurts. Now, number 6, Dak Prescott. Okay.
Dak Prescott. I believe that has the edge in that. But now let's look at the key players.
Dak Prescott. How can you put a guy who has never taken a team? It's almost like a 6.
You know, but almost like comparing him to the 6.
He's never been and yet still.
Okay.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's your top 6 right there. Let's keep going. It gets ugly here. Oh my God. This right here, executive. This is the reason why Howie Roseman was able to do what he does in this league. Because these executives have no clue of what they're looking at. Now, let's round this list out. We got your top 6. Let's go over it again for those that didn't hear. Josh Allen, number 1. My homeboy, Pat Mahomes, number 2. Matthew Stafford, number 3. Joe Burrow, number 4. Lamar Jackson, number 5. Dakota Prescott, number 6. Now let's go. Here's where we get up. We're going to go the kid out of San Diego, Justin Herbert, over Jalen Hurts. This guy has not won a playoff game yet. But we're going to sit there and say arm talent, which, see, this is again why I don't understand. Do our eyes deceive us? I don't give a damn if he could throw 100 yards. If he's not winning my team games, what purpose does he serve? What purpose does he serve? Are we playing fantasy football or are we playing winning football? I thought the fantasy football was supposed to be to the fans like me. And the real winning football is supposed to be to these executives. These are executives, ladies and gentlemen. These are executives, which I love it. Because that means the Eagles will continue to stay on top when you got dummies like this. Justin Herbert has not won a playoff game, ladies and gentlemen, over Jalen Hurts. This is number 7. Number 8, Drake May. Okay. He made the Super Bowl, but we saw his performance in the playoffs last year. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, I don't give a damn about A.J. Brown going in. That kid right there, he's not it. He's not it. He's not it. He's not it. Yeah, I'm getting my Umar Johnson on. He's not it. He's not it. He's not it. Simply, plain and put, he's not it. And you know why he's not it? You saw the playoffs. If Houston had if their quarterback, which he's a bum as well because they hype these young guys up and they have these 1 year wonder success stories, and then you never hear from them again. And they just fall off a cliff, like they playing cliffhanger or something. But if Houston had any type of quarterback that day, they beat the Patriots, and we're not even talking about them being in the Super Bowl because Drake May turned the ball over, I believe, 6 times in that game, and was sacked, I believe, more than 4 times. Yeah, it was ugly, and New England still won the game. And by the way, he went to Denver, and if their quarterback is healthy, they lose to Denver because he turned the ball over that game too, couldn't move the ball. But I digress. So Drake May is number 8, ladies and gentlemen. Now we get into the meat and potatoes. At number 9, Jared, I have 1-0, was the number 1 pick, Goff. How many years is Detroit going to be disappointed? How many years is Detroit going to be disappointed? Again, my Umar Johnson of sports type shit. How many years is Detroit going to be disappointed? This guy right here was traded from the Rams in his prime, so to speak. And all he does, he puts up numbers. But when it comes to the playoffs, what happens? See, I'm about playoffs. I'm about winning the big game. Because I've seen too many quarterbacks in Eagles history come through and not be able to produce when it matters most. Not be able to will their team to winning the game when it matters most. So this is number 9, ladies and gentlemen. At number 10, 1-year wonder, 1 year does it all, Caleb Williams. No disrespect, seems to be a good quarterback. From last year, had a beautiful season under Ben Johnson, and I believe he can get better. But let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, even though he did beat Jalen Hurts in the regular season, Chicago did beat us. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not taking him over Jalen Hurts as a top 10 quarterback. I'm not doing it. And it's simply put, Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl champion. That in itself, that's all of this. The only two other players on this list that can stake claim to that is Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes. These other guys, I don't see how you don't even have Hurts in the mix. But this is what's been going on, ladies and gentlemen. This is what the NFL is doing, ladies and gentlemen. This is how they've been getting down, ladies and gentlemen. This is the type of bullshit we are seeing on a daily when it comes to Jalen Hurts. I don't know what he did, what the league has, what the media and the media that covers the league has against him. But to not have him on this list is asinine at 1. And to not have him in the top 5 top 5 is even more asinine. But again, this is the type of games the media plays. And I know we're looking at a different offense this year, but let's think about it, which brings me to my next point. Here's a guy who has never had a stable offensive coordinator. Say it again for the people that can't hear in the back. This guy has had offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator, year in, a year out. The only time he has had the same offensive coordinator was when Steichen stayed for 2 years. And he single-handedly has been in the playoffs every year he's been the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's one thing. He has been to the NFC Championship game, ladies and gentlemen, which the best quarterback in my opinion, because I love him, is Randall Cunningham. But the guy that I admire has never been to the NFC Championship game once in his career with the Philadelphia Eagles. Randall Cunningham. Jalen Hurts has been there twice. Not only has he been there twice, again, I go back to it and I cannot say it enough. The man won a Super Bowl. And not only did he win the Super Bowl with the team, he did it in style. He was an impact player in the game. The dagger. Remember that? There has to be a thrower as well as a catcher. He threw the ball, and it was a dime. So to not have him on this list, man, it's really disrespectful at this point. And at this point, man, like I said, y'all need to start listening to Angry Ted. You know what I mean? And y'all can disagree with me too. You know what I mean? I might be a homer sometimes, but I'm, but most of the time I keep it a biscuit. I keep it 100% real. You know what I'm saying? That's what I base my show off. Real life sports talk, man, by the fans. You know what I mean? For the fans, by the fans. So I got to keep it real. And on the real, if you disagree with what I'm saying, please leave your comments in the comment section and let me know why. Because this list, what I'm saying, and I'll read it again. And I won't go in depth, but I'll read it again. And you tell me what your opinion is. Josh Allen, 1, Homeboy 2, Matthew Stafford 3, Burrow 4, Jackson 5, Dak Prescott 6, Justin Herbert 7, Drake May 8, Jared Goff 9, and bringing up the rear with the gear, pause, Caleb Williams at number 10. Not even a mention of Jalen Hurts, man. That's despicable. That's despicable. And it's not like he was one of these guys like Trent Dilfer, and no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, that was had a great defensive team and he didn't play his part. Because we had a great defense that year, but Jalen Hurts still made a great impact in that game. And somebody tried to tell me different, then your fucking eyes ain't seeing what I saw. And everybody else saw, the world saw. Twice on the big stage. Not once, but twice. Once in the losing effort, and the second time in a winning effort. So again, man, I say, man, give me your opinion, man, and let me know. Because, like I said, at this point, man, the disrespect of Jalen Hurts it's got to be, at this point, it's out of control. It's out of fucking control. It's beyond out of control. Now, speaking of shit out of control, gotta get into this, man. I gotta get into this because it's beginning to be something like I don't understand it. Now, everybody knows, we talked about it on these previous shows, and for those of you who haven't seen these previous shows, you can go back and watch on YouTube and on my Facebook page, and we talked about the Jaylen Brown trade at length, and I gave my opinion on it. But the hot thing now is that supposedly Joel Embiid, which is kind of crazy, but you still want to talk about it anyway because it's in the sports, hasn't reached out to Jaylen Brown yet, and of course the media is going to take that as some type of beef. Now, what I'm going to take it as is these guys are busy in the off season training, doing what they have to do. And even if they don't speak, I could give two fucks. Because at the end of the day, everybody's not going to get along. This is not Kumbaya Nation. And let's face it, there was a big rivalry there. You know what I mean? For those that don't understand, and those young folks who didn't come up in the era of basketball that I came up in. Back then, and some players have that in them now, it was a mutual respect, but we wasn't chummy and Kumbaya. You know what I'm saying? And rivalries was rivalries. You know what I mean? You wanted to bust the guy's ass, pause, across from you. You know what I mean? You wanted to have those bragging rights back in the day. And, we shook hands and then all season I'm getting better, so I come back and, put you on that powerhouse screen, so to speak. You know what I mean? But, so with these new guys in this day and age, everything's chummy. So when guys like Embiid and Jaylen Brown don't communicate after a big trade that was made, so the media tends to take that and run with it. And I heard Tracy McGrady and what he said, but as far as, like I said, I've never been in a professional locker room and I've never played professional basketball, but that don't mean I don't know, or I can't, human nature, what I'm saying? Like I follow the game and if you can tell pretty much when guys don't get along. But there's a mutual respect between Jaylen Brown and MD. You can see that last year in the playoff series when they was barking back and forth with each other like they was in the playground, which was good for the series. And I think that's going to be nothing but smoke and mirrors. I think once training camp starts, these dudes get on the court, man, and they'll be the best of teammates. and they'll rock and roll. Because one thing's for certain, two things for sure. I think Jaylen Brown's seriousness is what is needed on this team. It's been needed for a long time. We haven't had this type of seriousness, and like Brent Brown would say after some of those games when we had him, Jimmy's the adult in the room, or James as he would call him, which I don't understand how you get Jimmy from James. Well, some people that must be a white people thing, but I don't, no disrespect, you know what I mean? I'm not racist, but we got black people shit, you know what I mean? So y'all got white people shit. We know what it is. It's no racism, you know what I mean? It's all love, one love. But again, like I said, I think Jaylen Brown's now going to be the adult in the room. I think Tyrese Maxey was pretty much the guy. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a rah-rah guy, but he's the guy that's going to keep the mood light, the mood up, the mood positive. You know what I mean? Whereas though you got a Jaylen Brown, yeah, the mood's going to be positive, but it's going to be like, yeah, look, big fella, we need you tonight. We need that ass to get down low. We need that ass to do whatever it takes, night in and night out, so we can get busy, get these seeds, get this seeding, so we can make a championship run. That type shit. You know what I mean? Where he ain't gonna play no games. You know what I'm saying? Where he's gonna kind of like be that like I said, adult in the room. To get at MD, and he has the cachet, so to speak. You know what I mean, to do it because he's the champion. He's the Finals MVP. You know what I mean? Potential MVP from last year. Basically carried the Boston Celtics last year while Tatum was hurt. So yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? So with them not speaking, I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Good. That's perfect. So that way, you know what I mean, when they get into training camp, Jaylen Brown could come in and let it be known. Listen, you know what I mean, while I'm new, and this is Dean Maxey and VJ's team, I'm the new sheriff in town. You know what I mean? Like how they say it's the new sheriff in town, and his name is Jaylen Brown. Y'all like that shit, you know what I mean? Instead of using Reggie Hammond. But again, like I was saying, yeah, man, we need that type of leadership on this team. We've been needing it for a long time, and finally we got a GM who noticed that and not coddling to Embiid and bringing guys in. Yeah, we want to mesh with him on the court, but no, we want a dude that's gonna get in his ass. No homo. You know what I mean? A dude that's going, or pause or whatever y'all say nowadays. I don't really. I just say it for the viewers, for the young viewers that may view. You know what I mean? But trust me, I'm secure in my man masculinity. You know what I mean? I am toxic masculinity. So no disrespect. You know what I mean? But anyway, but again, we need that type of leadership in the locker room, man. We need a guy that's gonna come in here, that's gonna set shit straight. You know what I mean? That's going pretty much relay the coach's message. And like, yeah, let's be professionals. Let's get the job done every night, night in, night out. We come to play hard, you know what I mean, and we come to put the work in, you know what I mean, So I think that's a great, great asset, and on top of the game that he's bringing, you know what I mean, to the Sixers. It's a perfect match, man. You couldn't ask for nothing better. And again, we still on this LeBron watch. I've been on record as saying I'm really not feeling it. You know what I mean? If we get him, I'm going to cheer hard, root for him. But I don't really want that distraction. There's already distractionary shit going on with the waiting game. Like, come on, LeBron. Like, this is it, man. Like, when you did it before, you were young, all right, cool, King James, you had this big Miami reveal and all this goofy shit. But come on, man. Like, at this point, free agency is well into the middle of the month. Like, teams have already signed who they're going to sign. They're making little nitpicking moves here and there. You hear these rumors about different trades, but trades aren't happening. It's over. Summer League has started. Make your fucking decision, man, so we can keep going. Because you're not going to hold Philadelphia hostage, and you're not going to sit there and use us as a pawn in your Ponzi scheme to get more money from whoever. You know what I mean? If you want to go back to Cleveland, go ahead back. Ride off in the sunset. You're not going to win shit in Cleveland. You definitely won't win shit in Miami. It's only one ball, and Giannis going to dominate it. And we all know ego's going to play a part. You have an ego. And again, you know what I mean? With the Sixers, you have an opportunity to win, but we don't want the bullshit. And Philadelphia's not going for it. You become a distraction, we will turn on you, King James. And it'll be the national embarrassment because Philly will turn on you. We're not like any other city. We're unlike any other city. Superstars alike, you know what I mean? Ask AI. He put the work in, so he's a darling around here forever. You know what I mean? and you know you put the work in other places. You come here, we expect King James. You know what I mean? We know you're on the twilight of your career, but we expect the savvy, basketball savvy. We expect it all. You know what I mean? We expect the leadership and all that. But I'm hoping we don't get him. I think we have enough with Jaylen Brown and the moves we made with the bench, Anthony Simmons, and the kid from New York. I'm gonna get the pronunciation of his name, or I'm gonna give that motherfucker a nickname, so I can start talking about him that way because you know what I mean. But again, like I said, I believe in this team, man, and I think that what we got right now is more than enough to like I said, hit it out the ballpark next year. And speaking of hitting out the ballpark, we got the fighting. Oh yeah, the fighting fields, man. Coming off, we had the All Star break. The All Star baseball home run derby was last night. It was a classic last night, man. We had the kid from Cincinnati win it, going toe to toe with Kyle Schwarber. The kid hit 360, just was down to like his last two pitches. If you don't get a chance to check it out on YouTube, man. Oh man, it was a classic last night. Kyle Korver was up in the lead, was about to win his second home run championship, home run derby championship, and this kid came out of nowhere, man, with down to his last strike and hit like 6 straight home runs in a row to win it. But it was a pretty good showing last night, man. Lot of festivities last night. Saw the Phillies come out. Bryce Harper came out to a thunderous ovation. It was beautiful, man. I love when the cities put on the map like that, man. When we get other cities teams to come here, man, and that's big in free agency. Don't think about that for a second. They come here to get to experience these fans and see how we go hard for the hometown heroes. But again, it was beautiful last night. Right now, the All Star game is going on. I'm gonna get into that once I finish this show, and I have an update on that on Thursday, on what I thought about it, how I thought our players did in it. But Christopher Sanchez was started on the mound tonight, man, which was beautiful. We got a beautiful ovation from the fans, and also we got Kyle Schwarber and I believe Alex Bohm in the All Star game tonight. It should be a good one, man. Should be a good one, but I'm gonna tune in right after this, and it's big, man. For those that don't know or don't follow baseball like that, the All Star game is now deciding home field in the World Series. So it's not about your record no more. It's about who wins the All Star game, and whether the National League or the American League gets home field. And yeah, I'm saying that's big because I really believe truly this is the year the Phillies get back to the World Series. I believe they'll beat the Dodgers if they make at least 2 moves in the bullpen to get 2 guys that are adequate in the bullpen so we can get to the closer. And if that happens, man, I believe this Phillies team has enough offensively. But what we got in those 2 kids that came out of nowhere. We got Derek Hill, whose defense is in center field. If you don't get a chance to see it, look on YouTube. His catches in center field have been superb. Then you got Crawford, who he's platooning with on most nights, some nights, who's hitting the cover off the baseball, doing exactly what he needs to do, using his speed. And he's also a defensive stalwart coming into his own. And then you got Rincones Jr. in right field, who replaced Garcia when Garcia went down. So yeah, you got some guys, and then we know Marsh. Marsh is hitting the cover off the baseball, and defensively he's adequate. So yeah, Marsh. I said Marsh. I forgot to say Marsh. Marsh, not Schwarber. Marsh is made the All Star team. So yeah, we got 3 guys in the All Star game tonight. 4 guys that participate. Four guys I believe that participated all weekend, including the home run derby. But yeah, it was a great weekend for Philadelphia, man. I like I said, when these All Star games come to the city, showcase the fans and showcase the city itself. But yeah, it was a great night, and it's gonna be a great night because as soon as I finish here, I'm gonna tune in. But it's like I said, the Phillies can be slick right now, man. They can slide right in to first place right after this All Star break, coming out of the break, and just continue to win series. That's the key now. Going forward, the key now is taking 2 out of 3 in every series and trying not to lose series. And if we do that, we'll catch the breeze and hopefully win the National League and have at least some semblance of home field going in. But again, like I said, this team is a quality team, and I think they can get it done this year. I think they get it done. And then speaking of a team that can get it done, Flyers. Flyers tried to make a big move, man. They struck out swinging, but I still believe in that team. I think they got the young guys that from Porter Martone to Mikhail Michkov to Trevor Zegras to Jamie Drysdale and on down. Then they got the right mix of veterans. You got Coos coming back, and then you just got a kid from Atar from Pittsburgh. So yeah, the Flyers, man. I think what we have, we can make some good headway this season and get back to the playoffs. Not eking in, but making it outright and possibly again going to the second round. We're still missing that big center Iceman. But we're just gonna have to wait another year, man. I don't believe in going out. We made our big play. It struck out. Now just let the team settle and make a little around the edges moves. Show up the back end with the fourth line and third, fourth line, and let's rock out, man. I believe this team again has enough to make it into the second round and do some damage. It could be shaping up, ladies and gentlemen, to be a good winner, man. You got the Eagles, you got the Sixers made that big move, and you got the Phillies potentially in Red October, and then you got the Flyers coming back with a young team, man. So Philly sports is looking up, and I'm excited, man. I cannot wait. And by the way, be on the lookout. Your boy is traveling this year, and I will be filming on Sundays. So be on the lookout. Sundays and fun days with Angry Ted, following my chronicles through game day and during the games, during the Eagles games. You're gonna find it hilarious. I promise you, you will. Anybody who's ever watched the game with me, they know how passionate I am. You know what I mean? How into it I am. And how much I love football, and I love the Eagles, man. I love Eagles football. But yeah, that's coming soon. We're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be broadcasting that on all social media platforms as well. So stay tuned. We also have our interviews coming up. The OGs. We will be interviewing the OG coming soon from the shop, live from the shop. You know what I'm saying? The OG, Rob J. We will be interviewing him. We will be talking about, again, 15th of Susquehanna basketball, North Central Basketball League, how it's had an impact on the youth back in my day. We'll be talking about some of the players that played in that league, as well as Rob J. And lots of other things. We also have an interview coming soon with the boxer and the boxing trainer, a local boxer and boxing trainer. So be on the lookout, man. Big things is doing big things. All we ask is you to like, share, and subscribe, and support. Y'all know your boy Angry Tad. I'm as passionate as can be. Watch my channel. You know what I'm saying? Get your laugh on. You know what I mean? Every now and again we drop some life shit on here too. We talk about life. And speaking of life, man, I gotta talk about this because every now and again, and I've been making a habit to drop some jewels on my fellow veterans. You know what I mean? As most of you know, I'm a veteran of Iraqi freedom, served overseas with some of the finest men and women you can ever know. And yeah, I'm saying it because my respect for them and my love for them goes well beyond what I can say. But veterans. Public service announcement, man. If nobody told you, man, get yourself a VSO or do your own research or reach out to a family member. But if you're not getting your VA benefits, you are entitled. If you served overseas or if you haven't served overseas, if you have any ailments that you may potentially think and you have an LOD, line of duty, that you have any injuries that occurred in the military or the armed forces, you are entitled for compensation. You are entitled for compensation and, most importantly, medical care for these ailments. If you haven't, get down to the VA hospital and register. If you are a veteran of overseas combat or theater combat, register as a veteran of whatever that combat was named. If you are not and you have served, still go down there and see what you are able to get. These benefits aren't being used by some veterans, and believe me, some of them are on the street dangling and hanging. And I'm hoping this message reaches one or two, if not three. But yes, I'm saying it, and I will continue to say it at the end of every show. Some type of tidbit for my fellow veterans. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your support. I appreciate you tuning in. And again, it's your boy Angry Ted. I'm here now. I ain't going nowhere. Tune in Thursday for the next show. You know what I'm saying? We coming live direct. Sports talk like y'all like it, raw, real, and you can give your opinion back. And coming soon, like I said, you'll be able to call in. Coming soon. We working. Holla at your boy. We out here. Hey.